Now recognize the gentleman from California, Mr. LaMalfa, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, that's interesting that we now have to fix reconciliation, which the root problems were the taxes increases that were going to happen on middle and low-income families, especially, had that not happened, as well as a secure border and the costs of an unsecured border to our country, as well as getting at trying to tame a $2 trillion annual national deficit, all right? So when do we ever start doing that? When do we ever start rectifying that kind of overspending and what that does to our national debt and our ability to service that debt if interest rates were to ever go up dramatically? So when we talk about people having trouble making ends meet, and I can, as a farmer on the farming operation, witness firsthand, just was it 3 seasons ago, when the price of fuel doubled and the price of fertilizer tripled, the price of our pesticide materials increased dramatically. Where's that going to come from? Is it going to come from the farmer taking less profit, or the trucker who hauls that, or the fertilizers? None of those people, the miller, nobody's going to take less. That's all going to have to come finally at the end of it, at the bottom line, at the supermarket, where people buy the products we grow. Otherwise, if any of those people in that chain are in the red, the trucker, the fertilizer salesman, the farmer himself, then it's not going to be around very long. So what is the root problem in costs for families of buying food, of keeping food on the table? Inflation, energy, the prices of everything in that chain. Energy, to taking that, the tilling of the ground in the spring, the truck that brings the seed to the field, and the truck that hauls the grown product away. That's the big problem here, and it's not going to be fixed by government trying to throw more money at programs. So it needs to be looked at right here with the cost of doing business, driven by government, by regulation, by taking away materials. And with the pesticides themselves, every generation is one that's working even better to be environmentally clean, environmentally sound, one that has a hold period, that the dissipation of it is completely gone by that. They're doing amazing things with every new generation of pesticides, yet it's made to sound like we're poisoning everybody if you're using any of these materials, which really it boils down to, they do have a purpose. Anything ending in the word "icide" is to kill a weed or an insect that you don't want in there, right? So it comes down to the proper handling and application by following the label that the EPA has approved. So let me drill down on the EPA. Mr. Abbott, delays occurring at the EPA in the regulatory review process. My notes say that we have at least $500 million in post-patent and formulation improvement products that are sitting there waiting in review. Can you talk a little bit about the timely work in these innovations is as important as the chemistry themselves?
So the timely, let me just understand the question. So you're looking at the innovation as far as what we do as a company, and it goes back to my testimony and within Adjuvants Unlimited here, right? We try to improve upon the formulations that are out there. Some of these are becoming more novel as well, even though we take some of the older chemistry and you improve on the formulation, and it's gonna actually do a better job killing the weeds, right? Because dead weeds don't breed resistance. It's half dead weeds that all of a sudden they can reproduce, and then you got a problem. So
yeah, dead men don't talk, dead weeds don't come back, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Mr. Cameron, as a fellow Californian, certainly you've experienced a lot of the laughs and fun that I have as a grower as well. We're in rice business. We may not have as tough as some of the row crops and such, but in your testimony, you'd mentioned that consumers demand blemish-free products, and that's kind of a sidebar thought for me. If the product has to be that perfect, what is that doing to the level of effort that farmers have to put in to make sure that product is perfect instead of maybe slightly blemish-free like you might get at a farmer's market or off your own tree, for example?
Right. It puts additional stress and an additional financial weight on having a product that looks good in the market, no question. Consumers have preferences. I know when I go to the store, being a farmer, I can usually pick out probably the sweetest and the best looking fruit, but most consumers look for certain qualities of unblemished, high quality fruit. And to do that, it takes additional cost.
A much higher level of effort to have that perfect fruit instead of pretty darn good fruit, right?
Yeah, no, we grow many crops that are processed, where the quality has to be good, but not perfect.
Yeah, okay, appreciate that. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.